Well, that's cool. Ambitious culture. I missed out on some of that.
What do you mean? You're an ambitious
Uh,
dude.
yeah, you're right. You're right. But in my own way, in my
Yeah,
own
yeah. You got
special
like
way.
the laid back personality. Like, you seem like you're even cool, but I mean, you hustle, man. You're a hard worker. So
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Well, we're going to work hard today.
good.
This is part two of it's part two of the mortgage delinquent deals. Last week, Bob, you talked to us a lot about really the whole process of what these mortgage delinquent deals, kind of what the homeowners are going through, and kind of laid a really good, strong foundation. And then this week, you wanted to get into sharing about exit strategies, and I think this is really, really intriguing, man. What do you mean by that, exit strategies?
Yeah. So last week, as you said, we went over detailed the way that I personally find these leads, get these deals, get them under contract with mortgage delinquent sellers. This week, we're going to say, okay, you have the deal. How do you monetize it and how do you help the seller? So that's what I'm going to talk about today.
I see. Okay, great. Because I like talking about how we're going to get the money.
Yeah.
That's good. So let's do that, man. I'll just let you go ahead and take over, and I'll monitor things and manage things in the background while you're running the show.
All right, cool. Yeah. Same thing as last time. I have a presentation here if you want to just make it so everybody could see it.
Sure, I sure will.
Let me know when my screen is visible and then I'll get it up. You cut out on me. I think you're muted.
You should be able to share screens right now, Bob.
Okay, cool. Share screen.
Appreciate you doing this too, Bob. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Happy to do it. Thanks for having me. All right, could you see it? It's good.
Yeah.
Cool. So, all right. So, as I said before, last time we talked about how to find, how to, get these mortgage delinquent sellers. Today, I'm going to talk about how do we monetize them. So, just for anyone who missed it last week, I'll go over very briefly. I'm the owner of Universal Short Sales. Simply put, we're a short sale processing company. So what that means is from start to finish, we facilitate the entire short sale on behalf of the seller, all the way up until we get that short sale approval letter. So we work alongside with realtors with their short sale listings, making their lives easier, so they don't have to worry about dealing with the bank, figuring out the short sale paperwork, all that chaos. We take all that off their plate and they just worry about listing, selling the deal, negotiating, and going to get more business, right? Doing what a realtor does best. We team up with investors, we team up with wholesalers. A lot of these leads for a wholesaler, a short sale lead is underwater, so we take that dead lead and we help you monetize that dead lead by either partnering up with you, flipping and wholesaling it with us, or we just pay you a referral fee. So that's what we do in a nutshell. What is a mortgage delinquent lead? Really quick, just so everyone's on the same page. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a homeowner who's behind on their mortgage payment. So they have a mortgage with a bank and something happens in their lives where they cannot make the mortgage payments. Okay. Common mortgage delinquent homeowners that I see are pre-foreclosures where the bank actually puts a lis pendens on the property and they start the foreclosure process on somebody. There's a notice of default, which is right before the pre-foreclosure process when they just start to miss their payments. And then there's less than 30 days behind. Somebody who, you talk with, maybe you're prospecting just, in your normal day-to-day routine. And then you come across somebody who, is less than 30 days behind. They're just in the beginning of not being able to pay the mortgage. And then there's people who you'll talk to who are current on their mortgage today, but they say, hey man, look, I'm current today, but in the very near future, I'm not going to be able to keep making these payments. All right. So what are some typical reasons people fall behind? I went over this last time, so I won't spend too much time, but very, very common reasons are divorce, job loss, obviously, still not recovered from the whole COVID chaotic pandemic that happened. There's a lot of people that are still not recovered from that. Maybe their employee cut their hours due to the pandemic, and now they're falling behind. They can't make that payment. And then a lot of people, they own multiple properties. Maybe they wanted to be a landlord back in the day. They thought it was a good idea. It didn't work out. And now they're stuck with two properties and they can't afford both of those mortgages.
Mm.
All right, so let's jump right in. And also, I see some people starting to hop on.
Sure.
This is a slide presentation, but honestly, it's very, very informal. Hop in with questions, interrupt me. It's very interactive and chill. So
yeah, if you want to come in here in the Zoom room too, by the way, if you're watching out there on YouTube, we've got some folks watching around on social media. Thank you for watching. If you want to hop here into the Zoom room, please do. You're welcome. It's www.zoomjustin.com. Zoomjustin.com. Okay. Sorry, Bob.
all good, man. Yeah. And just for the people watching on social and on YouTube, if you have any questions, shoot them over to Justin and then he'll just hop in and he'll ask me them. So
I'm watching out for you guys today. So put it in the chat. All right.
Yep. All right. Let's jump right in. Exit strategy number one of how to monetize these deals and help people. A high equity wholesale deal. Okay. So as you're prospecting to your NOD list, pre-foreclosure list, whatever system you decide to implement that we talked about on the last slides, you're going to come across people that, they're behind on their mortgage, but they still have a lot of equity, or maybe even just a little equity or enough to make money from the deal. Okay. So just because somebody is motivated to sell and they're behind with the bank, it doesn't mean they're low on equity. So these are really good deals that if your main model as an investor is wholesaling, assigning the equitable rights in the deal, you're going to get a lot of good deals this way. Okay. So these high equity wholesale deals from mortgage delinquent sellers.
My ears just went up, dude. I'm like, yep, that's me.
Yeah. They make for really good assignments. Justin, it's crazy because a lot of people think that, just because they're hammering these lists or they're having their VAs hammer these lists, they think a lot of the deals are going to be underwater and short sales and these crazy. A lot of them are just straightforward deals. Some of them they're behind, but their mortgage balances are still low. So you could get really good deals like this.
Wow.
So you could assign them, you could double close them, or you could wholesale them, right? Wholesale is a strategy where you're going to take title. You're actually going to buy the property, whether you raise capital, buy it with your own cash, whatever the case is. And you're going to do a little bit of work, nothing crazy. Maybe clean it out, maybe spruce it up a bit, a little paint, a little clean, whatever. And then you're going to add a bunch of value to it and you're going to be able to immediately resell it. Okay.
Hotel. It's a hard word to say.
It is, yeah. I kind of stumbled when I was saying it too. But yeah, no. Wholesaling's awesome. Like I actually like to do that when like you could get really good bang for your buck sometimes because it's real cool too. Because you're still selling when you wholesale a property, a lot of the times your end buyer is still a cash buying investor. You're just making their life a little bit easier. And from that little bit of value that you're adding, you can make a lot fatter of a spread a lot of times. If you clean the property out, you get the dumpster. I mean, you're saving the end buyer all that heartache and work. They're going to pay you for it. So,
like a hoarder house, like you're talking about like a hoarder house, cleaning it out, like with a dumpster or stuff, like simple things that you could do just with labor off of Craigslist or something.
100%. Yeah. Like, I'll actually give you an example now. So I'm buying a short sale myself in Milwaukee and we'll probably close on it in a month or two, but I'm going to probably wholesale it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take title to it. I'm going to have a handyman go in. I'm barely going to do anything. We're going to clean the property out. Like you just said, it's like a semi-hoarder situation. We're going to clean everything out. We're going to re-secure it, maybe get some new locks, throw a new lockbox on it. And just by doing that, that'll cost me maybe $1,000. and I'm going to add 10 to 15 grand of profit on my back end just by doing that. So, that's a
Not bad.
typical situation of where a wholesale makes sense.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. So a tip in here I added, because this is very important to do. This will save you a ton of time. All right. When you're talking to somebody, you're talking to the homeowner. Let's say they call you off, you're pre-foreclosure prospecting, whatever. Even if they're telling you that they have all this equity, do not take their word for it. It doesn't mean they're lying to you. It doesn't mean they're trying to deceive you and they're a bad person. What a lot of people fail to realize is when they miss mortgage payments with their lender, fees, interest, and penalties accrue, and they add to the principal of their loan. So that overall mortgage balance is increasing just from them not paying the mortgage. So as an investor or as a wholesaler, when you get that deal under contract, one of the first things you should be doing, along with ordering title, is order a mortgage payoff statement from their bank. This way, you know exactly what they owe on that mortgage. And now you're 100% certain that your cash offer is in fact covering their mortgage balance. Because a lot of times, and this has happened to me a million times, especially in the beginning of my career, I would get a deal under contract. I'd get super excited. It's a mortgage delinquent seller. And then I wouldn't order the payoff. Later on down the road, title would do it because they have to. And then just to find out they don't have the equity they thought, and the deal kind of blows up. So order it early, and you will save yourself lots of time, money, and heartache. That's my best advice I could give you on this. All right. Exit strategy number 2.
I'm sorry, Bob. Is it a dumb question to ask how to order a mortgage payoff? I mean, real quickly, is that through the title company, or do I have to get the seller to call the mortgage company, or what do I do?
That's a great question. So you could get the seller to call. What I would suggest doing is take matters into your own hands, because you want to be the one verifying it. So send a document. It's a very simple document. It's a third-party authorization. You know what I could do, Justin? You just gave me an idea.
Yeah. That might be a nice freebie, maybe, or yeah.
100%. Anybody watching this, reach out, message me on my website in the comment section, or just email me, and I'll leave my email here before this is done. And, just say in the subject line that you watched Justin's thing, and then I'm going to send you a free blank third-party authorization that you could use. You just plug your info and you use it. I'll send that to you. So
already getting your tools all in line here now,
Yeah. I mean,
you got to have that, right?
Yeah. Listen, you're not going to need this on every deal, but when you come across these mortgage delinquent sellers, especially if you're going to start marketing to them, you're going to talk to a bunch of them, and it'll be great just to have in your Google Drive. So yeah, reach out to me and I'll send it to you for free. The exact one I use.
Thank you for that, Bob. That's awesome. Appreciate that, dude.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So, all right. So we'll just expand a little bit on that. You want to send the third-party authorization because you want to verify it yourself. You don't want to take anyone's word for it. You sign it, the seller signs it. You have to put the loan number on it. You send it to the bank, and then that gives you authorization, just as it says, to speak with the seller's bank. And then boom, now you could get any info on that loan that you want. So, all right, let's jump over to exit strategy 2, which is to actually take title to the deal. You're going to bring your own cash. You're going to bring somebody else's cash, whatever the case is. You're going to buy property and take title. Now, when you do this, so you could renovate and resell the property, AKA a long flip. Now, the cool thing about mortgage delinquent sellers, as you're marketing to them, you're speaking to someone with baked in motivation. Okay. You get them on the phone, they answer your email, whatever. You don't have to go searching for their motivation. You know why they're motivated. The motivation's baked in. They have to sell now because they want to avoid a foreclosure. So what that means is, because there's so much motivation baked in, On some of these deals, you could get home run and grand slam deals, like I like to call them. So even if your typical model is just to wholesale, assign the contract, and move on to the next one, every once in a while, I'm telling you, you're going to find someone who's petrified of foreclosure. They're going to want to sell. You're going to be able to get a really good deal. It's going to make sense to buy the property and flip it. You're not going to want to pass up on it. So that's going to happen when you're marketing to these types of deals. I'm sure the people watching and a lot of people in Justin's group, there's a lot of virtual wholesalers. Okay. This gives you an opportunity as a virtual wholesaler to do a JV. Justin talks all the time in his group. I hear him. He's always ranting and raving about JVs, rightfully so. They're awesome if you have the right partner. If you don't, it's not awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You just have to make sure whatever market you're virtually wholesaling in, have a good team on the ground, line up a good team. Okay. Even if you're just wholesaling stuff, make sure you're networking, line up a good team of handymen and contractors so that when you get one of these home run deals and it makes sense to actually flip the property because there's a fat profit, make sure that team on the ground is ready to go because that's going to be the key. And then that's actually my strategy. So 100% of my business is virtual. I flip short sales, I wholesale short sales, I do third-party short sales. Everything is virtual. It's my whole model. So whenever I get a deal in a market where I have a really good team on the ground, the first thing I'm looking to do, if the profit's right, is to take title myself and partner up with my good JV partners, my team on the ground, and get the flip done. So it just opens up a world of opportunities for you. And then obviously you could renovate and keep it as a rental. If you're in a market where you want to buy rentals, you'll get great opportunities through marketing to mortgage delinquent sellers. All right, let's go to exit strategy 3 is a sub 2, purchasing the property subject to the mortgage. As I mentioned in the last slide, as you're doing these marketing campaigns, the motivation is baked in. A lot of people are going to be in a panic sort of situation, especially if they're facing a looming foreclosure. If they're past 90 days into this, if they're past 90 days delinquent, they're going to be more and more motivated. That's going to open up creative strategies for you to get the deal done. One of those creative strategies is a subject to. It simply means you're purchasing the property subject to the existing mortgage. So the seller is transferring the deed to you just like a normal sale, but the mortgage is staying in the seller's name, and then you're responsible for making the mortgage payments. Okay, that's a typical cut and dry sub 2 purchase. Now, when you're dealing with people in a sub 2, it's not a normal situation. Okay, if you're dealing with someone who is behind on their mortgage, especially if they're in pre-foreclosure, the only way for you to make this work, you have to bring that loan current. That's your responsibility. So as I mentioned before, I don't mean to harp on it, but get that third-party authorization signed, reach out to the bank yourself, okay, and get all that information. You need to figure out exactly what that seller owes to bring the loan current. All right. Let me say that again, because a lot of people confuse that with the mortgage balance. There's the mortgage balance, what they owe to pay the loan off. And then there's what they owe to bring the loan current out of default. Those are two different things. If you're doing a sub 2 with a mortgage delinquent seller, the first thing you need to find out is how much money you need to come out of pocket to bring that loan current so that you're not taking over a defaulted mortgage. And again, that could be done with that third-party authorization. All right. And then you also want to verify the PITI with the mortgage servicer to make sure the deal cash flows, especially if your goal is to, buy the property sub 2 and get a renter in there. You need to make sure that you have positive cash flow. So once you're authorized with the mortgage servicer, get on the phone with them, figure out what is the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance that is escrowed monthly, and then make sure you could get rent that's higher than that amount. So again, you have positive cash flow. All right, move on to exit strategy number 4, my personal favorite, short sale. So really quick, what is a short sale? At the most basic level, a short sale is when the homeowner owes more on the property than the property is worth in its as is condition. Now, I always have to clarify the term as is, because I know we have a lot of wholesalers listening, and rightfully so. When you're a wholesaler, you're always focused on the ARV. What's that property worth after somebody fixes it up? In a short sale, you want to kind of ignore that in the beginning. It's irrelevant. We want to hyper focus on the as is value of the property. So a short sale is when the homeowner has a mortgage balance that exceeds that as is value, AKA they have negative equity. And on top of that, they're behind on their mortgage payments. In that situation, the bank, if they approve the short sale, they're going to let them sell for the as is value of the property, and they're going to wipe the rest of the debt clean, and they're able to walk away from the property and avoid foreclosure. So really quick example, let's say I own a house and I owe $100,000 to the bank as a mortgage balance. Let's say the as is value of the house, let's say it's dilapidated. I let it slip a little bit. Let's say it's worth 70,000. All right. So I owe 100, it's worth 70. In this situation, I have negative equity of negative 30 grand. I am underwater on the property. I cannot sell it the traditional way to a cash buyer, because if I did, I'd have to come 30 grand out of pocket. That's insane. Who would do that? So I could do what's called a short sale, whereas the bank would let me sell for the 70 grand that it's worth. And then that $30,000 that I would typically have to come out of pocket at closing and pay, they're going to wipe that away clean. That's called the deficiency judgment. That deficiency gets completely forgiven, and I'm able to sell the property and move on with my life and avoid foreclosure. So what are the benefits? Now, when you're talking to somebody, you get a lead, it's underwater, and you're talking to them about a potential short sale, they're going to ask you, what's in it for me? Why would I do that? So there's tons of benefits depending on the situation. The top 3, in my opinion, are number 1, a short sale allows the seller to avoid foreclosure. This is extremely crucial if the seller cares deeply about their credit, about their financial history, any of that. Avoiding a foreclosure is their number 1 reason for wanting to do a short sale. Reason number 2, very important, is the lender waives the deficiency. So let's go back to that example I just gave. In that example, I owe 100, I sell for 70. The deficiency is $30,000. In a short sale, as long as it's done correctly, in the short sale approval letter, the lender is going to put in writing that they're waiving their right to collect that 30 grand. So they're completely forgiving it. They're not coming after the seller for what they owe, which is amazing for the seller because they're off the hook. That means the seller is off the hook. Yeah. And then another reason is they just get to walk away and they come $0 out of pocket. They're not making any money, of course, because the bank is losing money. Okay. So there's no profit, but they don't have to come out of pocket with any money. They get to walk away from all the debt and heartache associated with the property and just move on with their lives. Okay. Those are the top 3 reasons. Like I said, depending on who you talk to, there's other reasons that motivates a seller to want to do a short sale, but those are the most common, most important ones. So, all right. So you get somebody on the phone, you think it might be a short sale. You're not really sure. Don't overthink it. All right. I'm going to give you right here, write this down because this is crucial. The three factors that qualify a short sale. All right. These 3 factors, if you just focus on these, it will give you your answer within 5 minutes or less of whether or not this seller is worth the time in a short sale. Factor number 1, are they behind on their payments? In order to do a short sale and get it approved by a bank, they need to see mortgage delinquency. Okay. So is the seller behind, or are they current, but maybe they tell you, hey, I'm paying my mortgage now, but next month I'm not going to be able to do it. So that still counts too. You could still help them. So are they behind now or are they soon to be behind? They are. Check. Number one. Number two, do they have equity? Again, going all the way back to that example I gave, I owed the bank 100. My house was worth 70. I have no equity. I am underwater. I have negative equity. Okay. So number one, are they behind on their mortgage? Number two, do they have negative equity? They do. Check. Now, the mistake I used to make constantly, I did this 100 times in the beginning. I would check the box for mortgage delinquency. Then I check the box that they're underwater. And then I would think then I'd be jumping for joy because I think I could help someone with a short sale. Not so fast, Bob. The third factor is, I would argue, the most important one. You need to make sure that the homeowner, the seller, is not motivated by money. Okay. Think of a normal wholesale deal. Seller's motivated. You're going to make them a quick cash offer. They want the quick money in their pocket and they want to be gone. Okay. That's their motivation. Money and they're gone. In a short sale, remember, the seller is not seeing any proceeds from the sale. They're not profiting. So their motivation needs to be that they just want out from underneath this bad mortgage. They want to be stress-free. They want to avoid foreclosure. Any of those reasons are great. You have a qualified short sale. But if the seller's only motivated, if they're like, hey, look, I'll do the deal, but I need 10 grand at least in my pocket, something like that. It's tough. It's tough because it's a qualified short sale on paper. I'm telling you right now, learn from my mistakes, walk away from the deal. It's a dead lead. You cannot help them because in a short sale, you're going to need the seller's cooperation to sign documents, submit documents. They're going to have to hang in there for months and months on end during the process. I promise you, if they're only motivated by money or that's their primary motivation, you're going to waste your time. You will waste months of your time and the seller's time. So that third factor is huge.
This training is really good. It occurs to me that maybe I should recap here just briefly, because there's a lot of folks watching on various different places around social media and on YouTube. But talking about exit strategies, you talked about a cash sale, like an assignment wholesale type deal. You talk about subject to. You let everybody know, hey, go to universalshortsales.com, hit me up in the contact us about a free borrower's authorization to speak to the bank form. Okay. And if you're listening to me now and you're like, what's that? You'll have to rewind this and watch it again. But the borrower's authorization to speak to the bank form, you're giving that away. And then also in the subject to department, as an exit strategy for these mortgage delinquent leads, prospects here, I've got a nice package for subject to. So if you are out there and you don't have a subject to package, you don't have any agreements, go to my website and I'll give you that. So you'll want, just hop on my calendar and meet me. I've got some time slots open, a little 15-minute. I won't break your arm or anything while we're twisted or anything like that while we're talking. I just want to be a blessing to you. So hop on my calendar and I'll give you that subject to package as well. But lots of great information here. The next exit strategy was the short sales, which you actually are an expert in, Bob, and we could partner with you to do some of these type deals as well. Is now an okay time to kind of do a little commercial?
Yeah, let's do it. So as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm in the short sale business full time. I own a company called Universal Short Sales. So it's literally dedicated to getting short sales done. We work them. It's a hybrid company. We work them from two angles. So if there's certain deals where we're simply a third party processor, where we're not the buyer, we're not the seller. We just process the short sale A to Z, and then we get a fee on the HUD. And then I'm an investor as well. So there's a lot of deals where I want to come in as the buyer, and then we facilitate the short sale essentially for ourselves, inside the deal. So yeah, if you are a wholesaler and your main exit strategy is to assign deals, short sales are unassignable. The bank does not let you assign them, and really they have no equity, so you can't assign them anyway.
Right.
So if these are dead leads, there's nothing else you could do. I mean, look, if there's any other way to make money, monetize them, do your thing. But if you get to the point where you're just going to kind of pass up on the deal, throw it away and move on, instead of doing that, you could submit these leads to us, and we either A, will JV with you on the deal, cut you in a percentage if we're going to buy it, or if we're a third party position, we pay you $500 at closing for every dead lead that you send. So go to my website if you want to sign up as a wholesaler. If you're watching this and you know me, you know the process, but you can go to my website, hover over contact us, fill out the wholesaler form. And then that way you're in our database, we could keep in touch. And then whenever you have a lead, you submit it the same way. You go to my website, there's a property lead form, you submit it. We send you a referral agreement, and that's it. We keep you updated. You do no work, and you get paid off your dead leads.
Yeah, he's got a system, everybody, for tracking it, and he's got an agreement and all that stuff too. So all this is, he made it sound real simple, like you just go in there and do it, and it is really, really simple, but it's professional too. Okay, so it's not like a, hey, you sent me an email and I forgot about it, that kind of thing.
No. So the slogan or the tagline, if you will, for my company is number one. And I truly believe this. It's number one in the industry when it comes to communication. The number one reason people, short sales break down is because people aren't communicating. Whenever you send us a deal, you will always know where the deal is from the second you send it. So you're not required to do any work, but you will be updated. A, it's contractual. And B, we keep you updated step by step. You'll always know where the lead is and when you're getting paid.
I've done it. I've gone over there. I've registered, I say registered, but I've contacted him as a wholesaler at universalshortsales.com. I've gotten the confirmations, and in fact, I've sent everybody that I know over there, and they've gotten confirmations, and I've even gotten paid off of a deal. So I mean, this it really works. If you guys want to partner in the short sale business, that's why I keep telling you, hey, hook up with Bob. It's a great partnership to have. It's a great tool to have in your toolbox.
Yep. And that's what Justin always says. And I stole that from him. I say that all the time, by the way. I stole it from you, but it's just another tool in your tool belt. That's it. I don't want the deals that are profitable to you. You just use me, whenever you need me, whenever you have that dead underwater lead, use me as a tool.
So for real, literally what he's saying is get the mortgage delinquent leads, start working them. And when you can't do a straight ugly wholesale type deal, discount, and you can't do a subject to, then maybe you and he could partner up on a short sale.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. So hopefully you don't need me that much. Hopefully you find a lot of equity buyers. But the fact of the matter is, when you're marketing to these pre-foreclosure lists or whatever you're going to choose to do, a lot of people that are behind on their mortgage, especially if it's like a second property, the chances that they're physically maintaining the upkeep on the property are very slim. So a lot of these properties become physically dilapidated, and then, they lose value. And when they lose value, a lot of times it's a short sale situation. So, just keep that in mind.
Good. That's good teaching. Thank you.
All right, cool. So any questions, shoot them over to Justin as I'm talking, but we'll get to the fifth and final exit strategy, which is, I feel like this is, it's like common sense almost, but it's very underutilized. It's the realtor referral. Whatever market you guys are operating in as a wholesaler or investor, make sure, one of the first things you should be doing, make sure you have a really good go-to listing agent in that market. Because the fact of the matter is, even when you're marketing, this is kind of tough to believe almost, but let's say you and your VA or your salesman, whoever, is hitting a pre-foreclosure list. You know, you think when you get in touch with these sellers, a lot of them are going to be super motivated. They're just going to want to sell from you and avoid foreclosure. The fact of the matter is, even a lot of people that are behind on their mortgage, they're not making their payments. They realize they have a bunch of equity and they still want to list with an agent. They're not interested in your quick cash offer for a discount. They're going to take their chances. They're going to delay the foreclosure if they could. They're going to list this thing on the market the traditional way and try to get as much juice out of it as possible. Okay? They're going to want to sell for max value, especially in the market we're in right now. You know, I don't have to be the one to tell you, it's common sense. There's tons of markets throughout the US right now that are in crazy sellers markets. So even when you're talking to these people that are behind on their mortgage, you know, they might want to list the property with an agent, you know, and take their chances. So monetize this deal instead of just like I said with me, if you have a short sale lead and you can't monetize it, don't just give up, send it to us at Universal. Same thing with a real estate agent. You know, if they're not super motivated and they want to list the traditional way, refer it to a go-to listing agent. Okay. Now, if you're licensed yourself, which I know a lot of investors are, you could get a broker to broker referral. It kind of sucks because you have to cut your brokerage in where you're hanging your license. And really, they didn't do anything to get you the lead, but you know.
This is why a lot of guys and their partners or ladies and their partners, or you know, like there's a couple that one of them's the wholesaler and the other one's the realtor. You know, that's pretty smart, huh?
Yeah, that's very true. You see that a lot.
Yeah, I do see that a lot, and
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. But but if I have to go find a realtor out and about in the world, am I looking for the top realtor or just a good realtor or just any realtor will do?
It's a great question. You kind of opened up. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent. So this is exactly what I do in my business when I need to do that. So in the short sale business, no matter what the deal is, the bank, 95% of the time, they're going to require a listing agent like to be on file. So even if I'm making a cash offer to the seller, I still need a listing agent on file. If it's a market like a little town in the middle of nowhere that I've never done business and I don't know anybody, finding a listing agent's a pain in the ass. So the system I did, and you guys could use this too, what I like to do is I'll Google, this isn't like rocket science what I'm doing, but you know, I'll Google best real estate agents in enter the town. Or if it's a real small town, enter the county. Then I scroll down the page. Usually it's, you know, between the first and the fourth on the page, the first and the fourth option. Click on Zillow. Zillow has, remember, agents pay Zillow to be featured. And not only do they pay them, whenever someone leaves a review on Zillow, it ranks the agents. So what you're going to want to do is filter listing agent at the top. You want someone who specializes in listing properties in the area that you want to refer the deal. And then you want to go down and pick the one that has the best reviews, ideally a lot of reviews and 5 stars. Once you find a bunch of agents like that, then you click into each agent and you want to see what are their active listings and then what are their recently sold listings. Okay. You want to pick the agent that is sold and listed most similar properties in condition and price point as to the one that you're referring. So that's important too, because you could get a 5-star agent that's a rock star, but if they specialize in luxury listings, you know, it might not be a fit for your $50,000 referral that you're giving them. That's a distressed property.
Right.
So filter it out to where you're looking at all the best agents in that area. And then you want to do a deep dive, click into them, research, you know, what are the types of properties they specialize in? What have they sold in the past? And then you want to find the couple that are a good fit for your specific referral. Then you just reach out to them and you tell them your terms. So that's a system I like to use.
I've been in this business for, I don't know, 20, 21 years, maybe, off and on, and part-time and full-time and back to part-time and then full-time. And you know how it is, but I've literally never heard anyone explain that like that. That's great, man. Thank you for
Awesome.
kind of diving deep on that tangent a little bit.
Yeah.
Simple stuff like finding a realtor that fits. It's, that's like, nobody ever talks about it, but thank you.
No. And I had to do that out of necessity, just from making mistakes, because like I said, I do tons of short sales. So you need a listing agent. And, in the past, I would just go on and click the first 5-star one, like a dummy, lazy. I was being lazy. And they would look at me like I was nuts, because they're selling $500,000 properties, and I'm trying to get them to sell, $100,000, distressed short sale. They're like, why are you wasting my time with this? So you always want to pick an agent that not only has 5 stars and really good reviews, but that works and specializes in that asset type that you're dealing with. So,
yeah.
There's
a lot of realtors out there that would not necessarily fit as for the situation, and
they won't fit, even if they want it, Justin, too. Like even if they're happy to get the business, there's a certain way you market certain properties. Everybody has their niche. So, like you said, even if they want the business, they might not be a good fit to sell it. So yeah, you want to play matchmaker.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Otherwise, they'll just say yes, because they're all going to say yes. They're going to be like, "Oh, I would love to. Oh, yes, I would do this." And then next thing you know, it's just sitting there on the market. They're not doing anything, and they're hoping some other realtor finds it and brings a buyer so they can make a piece of the pie. Okay.
Exactly. Especially if it's an investment property, because a lot of people, like I said before, they deal with the luxury stuff. They might not have a network of investors or know how to talk to cash buyers that are coming in, and that could get messy. So,
right.
But anyway,
so here's the question. Referral agreement. How do we get one of these? How do I get a referral agreement? Is this something the realtor is going to provide, or do I need to call a broker, or do I need to just kind of invent one or find one on Google, or what do you think?
It depends. So like I said before, if you're licensed, so what I personally do, I'm a licensed agent in the state of Pennsylvania. I don't represent buyers. I don't represent sellers. I don't act as an agent, but I keep my license active so I could do referrals and stuff like that. So, I just hang it at EXP just for this. If you're not licensed, you got to check your legalities in your state. I'm not an attorney. I can't give you legal advice and tell you, oh yeah, just do the referral, man. You'll be good. I don't want to.
Oh, you were serious about that. You were serious about that.
About not being an attorney?
No, about checking the legalities in your state. I can't just go out there and just do a referral agreement with any realtor I want about anything.
You could if you're licensed. I refer deals all across the country to people because we run it through our brokerages.
Okay.
But if you're not licensed, there's all sorts of RESPA rules. The actual agent can get in trouble by just sending a referral. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but there's rules.
So there may be limitations on how much they can pay you for a referral, or it may be limited to $15 or something who knows what.
$15 and a can of soda. No,
but that referring or that realtor should know, though, or they'll be able to produce this type of information in agreement if we need one.
I mean, look, if you could form, if you're doing business with somebody that's good and you could form a good relationship with them, you'll figure out a way. I mean, they'll figure out a way to compensate you, whether they'll, if you're not licensed. I mean, if you're not a licensed agent, they could figure something out legally. Maybe they'll have to pay you on the HUD or have you as a JV part. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Okay.
But you could figure it out.
Gotcha.
You'll figure it out. Don't let these leads go to waste.
Right. Yeah, because they want them, they want them. They'll help you figure this part out. So don't let this.
Exactly. Yeah. They'll be
I mean,
happy.
there's a lot of people out there that are like, man, I don't want to act on anything until I know how it all works, And then it's like, well, but in this case, hey, you're gonna have to kind of just ask because it's a little different in every scenario, and
Yeah.
the realtor's gonna have to kind of lead you. My favorite question for a realtor is, and everybody, you can write this down if you want. I'll give this to you for free. My favorite question is, Mr. Realtor, how would you like this to work? How does it need to work for you and your broker? That's it.
That's brilliant.
And then let them tell you. And then if sometimes they'll say to me, they'll say, well, I don't know. I'll have to ask my broker. I'll be okay. Okay.
Okay. Forget everything I said and just say that.
No, that's not what I meant.
No. Seriously, like if you're not licensed and you say just what Justin said, they're just going to figure out a way to make it work. So there you go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to do that anymore. Well, I'm licensed, but if there's an issue.
Yeah. Miss Realtor. How would you?
Yeah, how do you guys need this to work? And then they're going to find a way because they're getting a listing, a free listing. So for sure. Yeah, that's great. Realtor referrals are awesome though, guys. Like I love this. So like, you're not going to make a ton of money off this. It's not going to be your primary source of income unless you launch like a referral business. But the cool thing about it is, I refer these things. I do no work. I check in every once in a while, and then you just get a check or a money wire. I mean, it's not a ton of money, but it's a really good, supplemental income to your primary business. And it's little to no effort, and you're still helping the seller too. So, I really love, the referral system that I have. So.
That's great. And I think these are the kind of things that new investors neglect, and new investors and wholesalers. It's like, well, building a network of, a referrals, a referral system that's something I'll do 5 years up the road or sometime up the road. I'm going for the big kill, Well, if you can somehow figure out a way to plug this into your program that you're doing and kind of develop things like this along the way, it will really, really help facilitate what your focus is, but also you'll find that you'll be so many light years ahead of all your competition. And not only that, like he was just saying, you create a little this side income stream that just pops, it's like popcorn. Pop. There's $500 pop. There's another, hey, 500 and 500. Boom. Hey, hey, those really, really go a long way, especially if you're running a business, right? It really, really helps. So, don't neglect these ideas and think, oh, well, that's not for me because I'm going for the big kill. Okay, great. Go for the big kill, but don't forget this too. Okay.
100%.
Sorry, everybody.
No, it's 100% right. Yeah. And like, look, you can make an extra 5, let's say you do a bunch of these and you make 5, 10K, at the end of the year. I mean, that's a cool little side income. That's almost $1,000 a month. Just passive. Really, it's almost passive. So it's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So the big kill would be, when I say going for the big kill, I mean like, that big cash, like he was talking about, the cash wholesale, the straight discounted kind of deal assignment, or the subject to slam dunk.
Yep.
Maybe partnering with Bob to do a short sale where Bob buys the deal. Maybe that would be a pretty nice stroke there. But these referral deals though, man, those little popcorn deals, pop, man, that's really, yeah, man, you can go on vacation on some popcorn deals.
Yeah. You can start a little side fund with it.
Sorry guys. You get me thinking about stuff, Bob, and
you're thinking about vacation.
Yeah. Well, thinking about popcorn and thinking about making money.
Mine's all over the place. All right, cool. So I wanted to put this together. This is some pretty good information. This is from CoreLogic, which I talk about on here all the time. I know I probably went on several rants on, talking to Justin throughout the years here. So these are the states, and this is in February 2022, so pretty recently. These are the states with the highest mortgage delinquencies overall, the highest rates. So just a cool bit of information if you're out there and you're in one of these markets. It's just good information to know, because when you're making your decision on who to market to, when to market, the frequency, etc., you're basing it, or you should be basing it off of data. So this kind of stuff is very important to understand the data. So you could see the delinquency rates are starting to get back to normal, whereas they were super high when the pandemic hit a couple of years ago, and then they gradually just started coming down and down. So they're starting to get back to normal now. But there's certain states that are outpacing the national average. So stuff you want to pay attention to. And then here I added, to just do a deeper dive, the metros with the highest mortgage delinquencies. I would say understanding the state that you're investing in is important, but more important is your local submarket. So the metros are really crucial to understand what's happening in those metros. Okay, you could see places like, if you invest in the Houston area, lots of people delinquent on their mortgage. If you're investing in Vegas, same thing. New York, New Jersey metro, which is always the case, high people that can't pay their mortgage, which always seems to be the case in that metro. So this is the stuff you really want to track.
Yeah. How do I find this for where I live?
CoreLogic or Atom Data.
Atom, ATTOM.
ATTOM. Now, here's the tricky part. They put out free information all the time. But if your market, Justin, isn't on there and you want good information from them, you probably have to call them and pay for it, because that's their service. So if you're in one of these markets that I just mentioned here, you're in luck because you don't have to pay any money. It's
right. I'm in Kansas City, City, Missouri. So I don't.
Yeah. So, sometimes they'll put KC or different markets, but if they don't and you want specific market data, sometimes you have to pay. But listen, you could search the internet and find stuff. PropStream is perfect too, because PropStream gives you foreclosure list, free foreclosure list. I mean, you could piece together the data on PropStream alone. You just have to do the legwork, but the data is there for you on PropStream.
Definitely have PropStream, so I'll check into that. This is very interesting. Because I'm just guessing right now, but I'm betting we're somewhere in the middle there. Like, probably not on the low end and probably not as high as, like, Houston, for example, but
yeah,
probably pretty high. And this is an entire niche that up until this workshop I basically have been ignoring, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it goes under the radar. And I mentioned this in my last presentation last week. A lot of pre-foreclosure stuff, since the pandemic hit and everything was put on hold by the government, they stopped foreclosures. So a lot of people kind of forgot about them. Like, there's still not a ton of people compared to pre-pandemic that are marketing to, like, these mortgage delinquent leads. So it's definitely a good time to get in.
Good time to take action, everybody. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So you have your plan laid out. Last week you laid out the plan, and then today the exit strategies. Like, what's the ultimate goal for you? The ugly house type discounted assignment, and the subject to, and the short sale, and then the realtor referral. Did I miss one, Bob?
Just like the high,
the high equity.
Just like the high equity stuff. Like, if you're going to wholesale and you're going to flip,
right.
Stuff like that. But I wanted to put that in there. Those are obvious ones, because that's probably what you're trying to do anyway. But, like, I just want to stress the point that you could get really good deals, because, again, you're calling people. It's not like, you're calling someone that's like that's off like a random list, and, like, you have to dig for their motivation. When you talk to these people, that motivation is baked in. Why they want to sell, and the closer they are to that foreclosure date, the more motivated naturally they're going to be.
Yeah.
So my point was, you could get really good deals this way.
We have quite a few people watching out there on YouTube and some other platforms as well. If you guys want to put something in the chat, I don't know
Yeah.
how close we are to wrapping up. I feel like Bob, that was the end. All right. All
Yeah, it was
right.
a little shorter than last time because I feel like whenever last time I went over lead generation, and that's such a hot topic with everybody because that's how you run your business. People had tons of questions and they were jumping in. So
Yeah.
this one was a bit quicker, but yeah, guys, any questions, even on the lead gen front, what we talked about last week, if you have any questions, I'll answer them.
Yeah, great point. A couple things. One, go ahead and put it in the chat here if you want. If you have a question, I'm trying to consolidate all of the chat on all the different platforms that we're on right now, and if I'm looking for you. So put it in the chat if you've got a question or a comment. But also, Bob brings up a really great point that last week he talked about lead gen. So he talked about the process of how, this works and everything with mortgage delinquency and what the homeowners are going through and how to locate them and lead generation and stuff like this. But so if you missed that, this week's about exit strategies. Last week was about lead gen. So if you missed the lead gen part, it is on YouTube. Okay. So just go check it out. If you can't find it, then hit up somebody and say, hey, help me find it, because we'll help you find it. But it was excellent session. So this is part two. Part one was lead gen. So if you're scratching your head going, okay, great, wholesale, subject to short sale, I get all that, but like, how do I get the leads? Okay, well, that was last week. That was last week. Yeah. All right, so I don't see anything here in the chat just yet. Popping in.
Hey guys, again, just as a reminder, while we're waiting for any questions here, reach out to me for that authorization. I'm happy to send you the exact one that I use. So
yeah, the authorization, you'll want to go for the borrower's authorization. You'll want to go to universalshortsales.com.
Yeah.
Just contact Bob in the contact us box as a wholesaler.
As a wholesaler, or go to just click contact us, and you could just send me a message through the website and just say, I listened to you on Justin, I'd like the authorization.
Yeah.
Or just email me.
Yeah. If you want the subject to package though, you're gonna have to schedule with me. Hey, it's a 15-minute meet Justin slot, so I'm not gonna do anything bad to you. I'm just gonna meet you and give you what you want, but subject to agreements. So, and then so you should be well equipped to go out into the world and begin.
Flap your wings.
Yeah. So with last week's lead gen and then this week's exit strategies, you should be ready and prepared for battle, ready to go.
Yeah. And if you guys ever have specific, pre-foreclosure, short sale, mortgage delinquency questions, fire them my way. I'm always happy to help anybody. So don't feel like you have to have a lead in hand. I mean, I'll hop on a call with you either way.
Bob's a great guy. He's a great resource. He's in our club here. He's our resident short sale expert. So we defer to him on all topics of that nature because I'm not a short sale guy. Bob is. And so, I send people to Bob. Bob, we got a really good audience watching on YouTube right now, but all of them seem pretty satisfied. I guess there's no one putting anything in the chat. So I was going to say, what I want to do is, I don't know, is there a part 3, Bob?
There could be. Yeah. Maybe is there a way we could do like not an official survey, but maybe post in your group or have people comment on YouTube? What do you, what mortgage delinquent related do you guys want to learn about? Because I just don't want to come up here and just, talk about stuff I want to talk about. So what do people need help in? What could help grow your business? Let's figure that out, and then we'll do a part 3.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting some comments here now. Thanks for sharing, and people sharing their gratitude. That's a good thing. What you just suggested. If anybody wants to put in a chat here, or reach out to us either now or later, it doesn't matter. We'll find the comment. but let us know if you've got something you would like to hear on part 3. Otherwise, I have an idea too, Bob.
What's up?
I would like to give you my login for my live stream online broadcaster setup. It's a couple, 2 or 3 logins. That's all it is. It's real easy to do.
Yeah.
And then I would like you to be able to just go live whenever you want and talk about whatever you want, because it's obvious what's happening here is there's a lot of people watching, because when you talk about what you like to talk about, people learn, and that's what they're into. Right.
Yeah.
So, I think that would be great, and then, just tell everybody, tell the whole world about the gospel of universalshortsales.com.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I would love that, man. And then we can also do part 3.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
But that's just
I
an
like both
idea.
ideas. Yeah.
I'm not going to force that on anybody. I'm just throwing that out there, man, because I love you. I love your content too, and it's good, solid stuff. And
I appreciate it.
yeah, and people are enjoying it. And that's obvious. We had a good showing last week. I don't know if you've been able to go to the channel, my YouTube channel, and look at the video last week. Popular video, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, popular
That's
video.
awesome.
So people are interested. So let's maybe do something like that. We can talk about it if you want.
No. I like that idea. And about the part 3 though, I definitely want it to be like, I mean, I could do the lead gen thing again if that many people liked it. I could go maybe more in depth about, talking to the leads or something. I think lead gen seems to be, a lot of people want to learn more about that. So
okay. Yeah, cool. Let's do it.
Let's let everybody tell me.
Okay.
We'll see what kind of things people suggest, and whatever the most popular is, we'll I'll put something together for part 3.
Okay, cool. I like it. Yeah, we've got some more people sharing their gratitude here. And
yeah, thanks everybody. I can't see what you guys are saying, but thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope I help.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. And I guess we can call it a wrap for today. But yeah, we'll be coming out with some more. It looks like, and I'm excited about that. So me and Bob are going to get together on that, and I'm going to share my logins and passwords and stuff, and get him set up where he can. Because there's no sense in having a guy with this much knowledge and brains and generosity, and we're not really tapping into it. Like, I want to tap into it on the reg, dude. Like, every chance I get. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Hey, I appreciate you, Bob. Thank you. You did a great job today, man.
I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate everybody, tuning in. And like I said, I hope I could add value to your business, and let me know what you want me to do for part 3. I'm happy to tailor to whatever everybody wants.
Sounds good, man. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again next time. Thanks, Bob. We'll
Later,
talk
guys.
soon, man. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.